disclosure. Sober disclosure. Breezy's a slut.
Timmy likes it in the butt.
Are you or someone you know looking for support in recovery? Taste Recovery is your go-to directory for sober resources. Whether you're searching for treatment centers or sober living communities, Taste Recovery connects you with the right tools and support to help you on your journey. With a user-friendly platform and a comprehensive list of resources, Taste Recovery makes finding the help you need easier than ever. Start building your path to a healthier, sober life today. Visit tasterecovery.com to find the resources that work for you. Taste Recovery, your first step to a lasting positive change. Hi, everyone. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are
Sober Disclosure.
You guys said that.
Yeah, you didn't pay attention. You don't follow direction. We have Jenna Fokker, a crackhead from Woodland Hills, and a rapper on Grindr or Tinder. You're a rapper on Tinder?
Hey. I like Grindr better.
She's a rapper, singer, songwriter on Grindr.
We love it.
Yes, I am.
And it's a Tuesday night, and we wanted to get vibey, so we added some candles just for Jenna.
And Jenna's so busy that she made us record at 10 p.m.
On a Tuesday.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
But honestly, it's really, like, that's so cool that you even said yes to the fact that we're literally here on a Tuesday night at 10 p.m.
And she has kids.
And she has kids.
I do. They're
Shout out to Kayla. She's the babysitter.
Auntie Kayla.
We love her so much. Okay, so how much time sober do you have?
I have 11 and a half years.
Holy fuck.
That's not that long.
Yeah.
What's your sobriety date?
May 26, 2014.
And is this your first sobriety date?
You know, that's always hard for me to say because, like, you just heard me talk a little bit in a meeting. I don't know what my original date was because, like, I had a date and started going to meetings and, like, exploring sobriety, but, like, I just got high, like, every other day and, like, didn't tell anyone. So I did that for, like, 4 or 5 months. So it's like, no, yes. Do you get what I mean? Like, I didn't have, like, any, like real shots at sobriety before.
Okay. You never actually had, like, 2 weeks, 30 days. Like, you weren't actually picking up.
No.
Well, you were getting chips.
I was. I was
they were
picking. Yeah,
dirty.
I was picking up chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was not sober.
Okay. Okay. So
Do you
Wait,
love that?
I introduced her as Jenna Crackhead from Woodland Hills because my mom was here this morning getting her hair done, and Jenna walks into the salon to get her hair done, and I go, "Oh, Mom, this is Jenna. She's a crackhead from LA."
Yeah.
And my mom goes, "Oh, she's part of the Yellow House." Because the Yellow House means all of AA, which means where I went to rehab. And she goes, "Oh, Jenna,
Yeah,
it was
she
nice to meet you."
And then, yeah. And she
It doesn't even phase her what I say anymore.
Yeah.
I
That's
can't even
why.
imagine being your
I know.
mother. I would
She
agree
really
with that.
did. She just was like,
And
oh,
then wait,
that's nice.
wait, and then Jenna goes, "Me too." She thought I called my mom a crackhead from LA, and she goes, "Me too." And I'm like, "Jenna, I'm talking about you." That was funny.
I'm so sad I wasn't here for it.
It was
know.
really
I have
nice.
FOMO.
Yeah, we hugged.
So
Okay, back to this is
Surprise.
your first time.
Lock in, Jimmy.
Lock in.
Okay, so this is your first and only sobriety.
Yes.
How old were you when you got sober?
27.
Damn, dude.
Don't do the math.
Already
on
done.
No,
that.
I'm not. I'm not.
You're my age. Well, I won't say it. It's not that old.
So in your first year, let's roll it all the way back. That was a long ass motherfucking time ago.
Okay, I know.
Same. So
But
when Jamie interviewed me for my first year, I had to think like long and hard about it because it is, you know, you have a year and a half longer than I do, but it was the same thing for me. Like I don't even feel like I remember it much, but luckily we were just at a meeting, like you said, and you were talking about your sobriety. Can you go back to that day one and like when you finally did stop smoking weed and what happened? What was your experience like? Who did you tell? Did you have a sponsor? All of the things.
Okay, yeah. I'm trying, yeah, because when when I first stopped smoking meth was like different than when I stopped smoking weed, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
But weed was the last thing you held on to, right?
weed, Xanax, and alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because like
You
I
were
thought,
doing all of those while you were still going to
yeah,
meetings. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I would
Okay.
just like switch it up.
I don't know how people do that.
Yeah, me either.
I know it's wild, right? But I usually see them now. That's why and those are like the people I want to meet at the door too.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. But the way that looked
do.
at that time, you don't.
No, I sit on the other side. I'm trying to help the person that's off of everything.
Yeah.
So that's good. Someone helped you.
No, I know. No, it's
Then you
true.
could be that person.
No, so what happened was so the first meeting I went to, like fully clear headed, was a 7 a.m. meeting because I had like called this woman the night before that I had been calling my sponsor for 4 months and told her like, hey, I think I'm an alcoholic. And she started laughing and was like, okay, I thought we determined that.
Yeah.
And I was
coming
like,
to meetings.
I was like, yeah, so I've been lying to you and like I've just been doing the things because like I was supposed to and like thought, you know, and like wanted it to look a certain way to like make these other people feel better about what I was doing. And I said I was reading with you, but like I wasn't like reading, and I also like didn't understand and I didn't believe, and you know, like I had all these like ideas of what being an alcoholic was, and it was very like materialistic, like, you know, but the last time I drank and used, I like had no type of head change and no type of heart change, and I had enough of like recovery speaking in the back of my mind that I just had this like moment of clarity. You know what I mean? So when I called her that night, she asked me everything I took and did, and it was a lot. Like I like snorted Seroquel that night too. I was like, we're
Is
gonna.
Seroquel a syrup or a pill?
It's a sleep medication.
Like syrup.
No,
No.
no. But I probably would. I probably would snort syrup if it meant I could feel some type of way. No, like that night, like I like found everything in my apartment. I lived with someone who was like a normie and I knew where her cocaine was. And like, you know, I just did anything I could. And like drank you'll like this. My last 2 sips of alcohol or drinks were 4 Lokos from the gas station across the street.
Why would I like that? I thought you were going to say
Because that's
high with some
cringy, and I
gay
thought you were
dude.
gonna laugh at me.
4 Lokos? That's...
My instinct in this moment was to just flash you, just so you know,
I thought you
as
were
a way to
something
like be like,
crazy.
shut the fuck up. No,
I thought you were saying something crazy.
no,
like,
because like that's
you
like
fucked some gay dude
okay
with meth. I don't know.
No, I was
You
talking
went
about
across
alcohol.
the street and drank 4 Lokos?
Yeah, because I drank everything else in the house,
I
and
thought
so
you were
like
say you got gangbanged or something. I don't know. Like...
you're talking about sobriety, not while I was using. No, I'm just kidding.
No, okay, so that you
No,
drank the
but
last
for me,
4
it was like that
Lokos.
was something I never drank. I never drank. Yeah, I never drank those.
And
Like,
4 Lokos, what? Did you grow up in the hood?
have you seen me?
I
No,
don't
but
know.
that's what I mean. Like it was so like that was the only thing I could access. Like, and so I was like crushing up and snorting sleep medication. There was like a CVS brand of like weight loss pills that I crushed up and snorted
Oh my God.
because it was
Trim
literally
spa.
yeah. Like I just wanted to feel everything and anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And so
were you also trying to prove a point, do you think? Because at that point you had been in the meetings
Oh, yeah.
listening, and it's like,
yeah.
I'm not a fucking alcoholic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I was like home and I was upset and having all these feelings, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do all these things because like fuck all of you.
Yeah.
And then like it didn't work.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And so I had a moment of clarity. So I called that woman. She laughed at me, said, I thought we understood this already. That's why like you call me your sponsor. And I was like, yeah, no. So here's what's been up. And I told her everything. And she was like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, how much of those medications, like, do you think you need to like go to the hospital and like get your stomach pumped? And I was like, no, like I've been there before. That's not this. And she was like, okay, well then like, if you really want this, go lock your front door, pour yourself a glass of water and go to sleep. And I'll see you at 6:30 in the morning. And for whatever reason, I was like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And it was just like, from there forward, you know, like I went to 3 meetings a day for 30 days. I had no job. I had nothing going on for me. Like all I had was like this like pit inside of me that I wanted to feel differently about. And so I did anything this woman suggested to me, because like up until that point, I tried to prove everyone wrong that like the way they did it or this whole thing, like I didn't need to do it. That wasn't me. It wasn't for me. And so I just like dove into it, you know? And so, I mean, that first meeting, like then, like I was the girl in meetings, not just for the first like month. It was like the first probably 5 to 6 months. That was like hysterically like wet, ugly crying all over the meeting, but like not sharing all the time.
Yeah.
Because I just like everything anyone said like made
Ripped
me,
you open.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like so desperate to be so raw and so honest that it was like everything poured out without me even having like a choice about it. You know what I mean? And so like, yeah, I didn't have a car at the time, because I left my car in the impound like 4 months prior, because I only had like $300 in my bank account, and it was like I could either go pick up this meth or I could go get my car out of the impound, and like obviously I'm gonna pick up
Go
meth.
get the meth. Yeah.
And so, and yeah, so I like my entire first year I didn't have a car, I didn't have a driver's license, because I was also previously just driving around on a non-working license, you know, which was part of why it got impounded. Yeah, so then it was like, oh, I can't go to all these meetings, and I tried to push back a little bit too, of like, I can't go to all these meetings, and she was like, oh, well, this woman, and it was like this wonderful like 80-year-old woman who lived near me, she comes to the 7 a.m. meeting every day, and she said she'll pick you up. And I was like, okay. And I just like had no choice.
Yeah.
And I did it, you know? And so that's what it looked like. I had a lot of charges at the time, like in 2 different counties. They were like simultaneously going on, that happened like 6 months prior. And then I was working the steps and like actually having to show up to court. So there was a lot of that, like that the first month, especially, all I did was like go to meetings and go to court. And like, that was it.
Damn.
You know?
Can you walk us through going through that process of court? I feel like that's so relatable, and a lot of people end up going out over it.
Especially in your first year.
Yeah, a lot of people end up going out over it. It's too much to handle if they don't have help, if they're trying to do it themselves.
For sure. So like I said too, like that very beginning, I was so desperate to feel something different and like do everything differently. Like basically I did what other people told me to do, because I like didn't trust my judgment or my thinking anymore. And so like when they told me to finish this step and go over it with them, I would, and then I'd move on to the next one. So like the first time I did the steps, I finished them in the first 30 days. And so I was at this place too, where I was like, when we were discussing my 8th and my 9th step, part of like my willingness to make things right had to do with me being honest in the courtroom, and then having to be like in acceptance of like whatever the outcome was, and also knowing that I was not in control of the outcome, and there was nothing I was going to do to manipulate that outcome.
Did they know you were going to meetings and stuff?
Yeah, so I did, like, I wasn't like court ordered to go to meetings.
But you knew it would help you.
I did, and I had a public defender. Like,
Did that help you make a decision to stop drinking and using and getting sober?
I think so, because like I had never been in any kind of legal trouble.
Okay.
So like I said, I was 27 when I got sober. My birthday's in February. My first arrest was 3 days before my birthday. My second one was 4 days after. Okay, in February. And like I said, my sobriety date is in May.
Yeah.
Okay. And so like part of like coming to and having some clear-headedness was also being like, I am not the girl who's getting arrested and like having like charges for like commercial burglary and possession of narcotics, and like, oh yeah, yeah, we can get into that, and like stuff like that. Like, no, I was like the girl that in the community I came from, like people knew me as like, I worked for the YMCA for 15 years, and prior to that I was like,
you're a meth smoking girl at the YMCA?
Dude, you don't even know. You don't even know. No, okay, I will say, because some of them watch stuff and follow me today. I never went to the Y on meth ever.
Okay.
That came later.
Oh,
I
okay.
did show up so hungover and like inappropriately, for sure. You know, I also partied with a lot of people. I like was a
With
camp
the
counselor.
kids?
No, camp counselor with.
Oh.
Yeah. But like that's like I was known as like even from high school, like the jock and like the good student and like the vice president of my class. And then like I like grew up in the YMCA and then I worked there until like then all of a sudden like fast forward 10 years and I'm like getting arrested by a sheriff that had literally come to visit me at the Y before and like show my kindergartners his cop car.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so like that was like a really humbling experience. And so yes, I do think like getting into that legal trouble for me was a big wake up call.
Yeah.
Now at first it was like, okay, meth is bad. It's the meth that's like causing you to get in legal trouble.
Yeah.
Right. And at first it was like just that. And I thought that was the reason. But once I really came to and was being fully raw and fully honest and working the steps, I could see how like it didn't matter what the substance was, you know? And so, yeah, I made like a conscious choice to be honest in the courtroom and that I would have to walk through whatever came. And there was there was a lot of fear of that. I did about 45 days total. I remanded
in jail.
Yeah. So I ended up remanding myself on September 6th of 2014. So I was a few months sober. And what's crazy though is if we back up a little bit, like in my second month of sobriety, I had to spend 3 weeks in the hospital, like unexpectedly, because I was having these like gnarly cramps. And I like self-diagnosed of like, oh, this must be a benzo withdrawal. Like, you know, I like Googled and like WebMD stuff. Like
you didn't have ChatGPT back then.
No, we
they
did
had
not.
to like pump your stomach from all that cum.
Yeah. Not tonight, Jimmy.
From the Four Lokos that fucking tag teamed you before you got in. Oh my god, I'm awake. Sorry, it's like 10:30 p.m. Is it?
No. I don't
It
even
feels
think
like
it's actually
10:30 p.m.
Who even cares? What is time?
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah.
Right?
Oh my god.
We're
Okay,
just here.
so your stomach was pumped with benzos.
So I made up this idea because like I didn't go to detox. I didn't have insurance. I didn't have any of that, right? So I became a doctor through the internet and was like, oh, it must be withdrawals. And long story short, like I ended up like passing out at a grocery store one day and I was like 40 something days sober. And
Wait, what did you have in your basket?
Just kidding. Probably not a lot because I was broke. I probably had like freaking saltines and like
oh my god,
top ramen.
Yeah, for sure. But like I can almost guarantee you though there were candles because like
you always had money for candles.
Always. And sage.
Oh my god.
Of
Can't
course.
eat, but definitely getting candles.
Yeah.
Can't eat, but I can catch a vibe.
Oh my god. So
Touch
then
myself
you went
on fire.
Okay, so I passed out. I got rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, woke up in the ambulance.
Then you really have no money because those things are expensive.
I know.
Right. And I'm like, what's happening? And I have this like excruciating pain. And they like rush me and do like a CAT scan, all this stuff. And they come out and they're like, have you had a rapid weight loss in the last year? And I looked at them and I was like, I'm 43 days sober. And I was previously using meth. So yes, like, you know, like a rapid weight loss. And they said, okay, you have gallstones pouring out of your gallbladder.
Oh, fuck.
And rapid weight loss can cause it to happen. They're like, how did you
know
not
that.
feel this before? And I told them, oh, well, I stopped using meth all the way back in March. Like, how did you not feel this? And I said, well, I kept using this, and this.
Yeah.
And they're like, how long have you been completely sober? And I tell them, and they're like, okay, one, we have to take you into surgery like immediately because they were pouring out at this point and they were worried it was going to burst.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, or the stones were going to, even if it didn't burst, the stones were like now attaching to other organs and that like, right? So they go in, they take it out. I come out of surgery and they tell me like everything went fine, but they did have to put a stent in my liver. And again, mind you, like just a month and a half before this, I was like, I am not an alcoholic,
Right.
right?
Right.
But yet they had to put a stent in my liver. And then I had pancreatitis as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically said, like, the only reason you started to feel this was because you got fully sober off of everything. And they also, like, the state I was at, they said that had I not stopped drinking, that, like, it would have killed me. You know, so I spent 3 weeks in the hospital in my second month of sobriety. I remember my public defender had to show up for me one time because of it. Like,
did people from AA come?
They did.
Oh, and I love that.
They did. And like, what's also cool is, so there was women from like this meeting I was going to who I barely knew, right? But they came and they would like hold little meetings with me. And then I had not been on the greatest terms, like with my father leading up to sobriety. He and I didn't talk very much for about 8 years. And, but then when I was like getting sober and in a lot of pain and in a lot of chaos, I reached out to him. And like, honestly, in an unfair way of like, I had no one else to call. And I knew, oh, my dad's going to answer my call. Right. And so like in an unfair way, like called him because I had no one else. Now there was like a blessing in that for me because like it helped me. And including that when I got arrested, he was like, no, I'm not picking you up, you know? But
Dad went to Al-Anon.
Yeah, that was what worked against me. He had already been going on and on leading up to that point for almost 20 years, you know?
Yep.
And yeah, so then like there was one amends I hadn't made, and it was to my dad. And I was in the hospital, and the pancreatitis was up and down so bad. Like I couldn't even like lift my arm some days. Like it was the most wild, like, cause it's running through your entire bloodstream. Right. And, I remember telling my sponsor, she's like, your dad's in the waiting room. And I was like, I can't talk to him right now. I don't want. And so there was like days where I didn't allow him to come in, and he would come like every day and just sit in the waiting room. And just for one day, I think it was like the weight of like, this is where my life is at. It like, forget the legal stuff. Like like my physical health, like could be taken from me at any moment. And like, I'm like forcing this man who like always just honestly did the best he could with what he had, right? Like I am like shutting him out because of my own stuff, right? And so one day I just was like, yeah, can you have him come in? And I like made my amends to him in like from a hospital bed, which was like pretty cool and pretty special because I don't know, I had this moment of like, what if I don't get out of this hospital? Like it was pretty bad, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and then, like I said, as I'm dealing with that, simultaneously, the public defender's calling me. I had to have like the doctor send a note.
Did you already have kids?
No.
Oh, not yet.
No kids. Yeah, because my oldest is 9 and I'm 11 and a half years sober. Yeah, so I got out of the hospital and I think it was like the end of July, beginning of August. And then like I had another court date 2 weeks later. It was mid-August, and they sentenced me to 90 days. And, you know, I had options. It was like I could either do time, a certain amount of time, and pay like a very small restitution fee, or I could pay a lot of money that I didn't have to do house arrest, and I also didn't have a house.
You're sentenced to house arrest with no house.
And I had no money. Like I didn't have... And there was no one for me to ask for money from either. And it was just like this humbling moment of like, okay, like I hear you, like understand the assignment here. And I was like 2 weeks out of the hospital. If you ask RJ, my boss, he loves to tell stories about me as a newcomer. Like, oh, Jenna came rolling in and with like an IV drip bag in her hospital. I'm like, that's not true. And he's like, I swear it's true. You don't remember. And I'm like, bro, maybe the bracelet, being like, I was in the hospital. But like, and then I spent the next 2 weeks crying in the meeting about how I was going to have to go to jail.
Oh, yeah. That's something to cry about.
For sure. Yeah. You know, and, I did still have that apartment, but I had no more money left. And so I just like told the roommate, hey, like I'll post this, like, but I have to go. I'm sorry.
Going to jail. Bye.
Yeah. And I packed everything up.
What'd she say?
She was actually...
Did you have to make amends to her?
I did. Oh. I did. But she was also very supportive and like saw what I was doing to now change my life. And like she was like, I mean, what am I gonna say? Don't go to jail and
Yeah.
like
Don't
get a
get
job.
sober.
Yeah, don't get sober and don't go to jail and go get a job instead. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
no, she was supportive and yeah, so I like packed my belongings up that I had at that time and I put them like in my dad's garage and then I packed one duffel bag of clothes because I didn't know what I was going to do when I got out. And also like, you know, the way it works, you could be sentenced to a certain amount of time. That doesn't mean you're getting out in that amount of time.
Right.
You could do half time, it could be less, it could be more, whatever. And so my sponsor was like, you're going to pack one duffel bag of like a week's worth of clothes and like your toiletries, and you're going to leave that with me. And I'll pick you up whenever it comes that you get out and we'll figure it out. And like, that's what I did.
Yeah.
But what was cool is like her family had a beach house up in Ventura because this was the Ventura County Jail. And so we went up the day before I had to remand myself. And like,
Ventura, there's a lot of meth.
their
And like
fissures.
hot white rednecks.
Yeah, yeah. But okay, but this part of the town was the nice where the beach
Okay.
houses were. Okay. And we went up and like spent the day on the beach and like slept at the beach house. And then in the morning, it was like she and I had a cup of coffee and she was like, "You ready to go to jail?" I was like, "I don't know. Let's find
Oh my
out."
God.
You know? And she took me to jail, dude. And like I remember I got 90 days like while in jail.
Was there?
too.
Did you go to meetings in jail?
No.
There's no meetings.
I
The
wasn't-
one you went to.
I wasn't in there long enough. You have to like petition
okay.
for it and get approved. There's like a whole process. And so like I would have
Did you bring your book with you, or someone gave you a book?
I asked for one. I never ended up getting one.
Because you weren't there long enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
How long were you
Everything
there?
is about 45 days.
Oh,
so it
fuck,
was
you
half
were in
time.
there-
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
By the
And-
time they process you, put you into like the cell,
An actual dorm, not
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
suicide watch
Yeah, yeah,
dorm.
yeah.
Yeah. But
they
it was
do
like
your physical. It's like 3 weeks already.
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. And like after being in like the suicide watch dorm where you are for like the first couple weeks or until they move you, they moved me like immediately to the like good behavior dorm, which was like all people on like that have been there a long time and were doing things like going to AA or going to school or worked in the jail and like things like that. And I was a first time offender.
Yeah.
Went in with them knowing I'm like sober. And I didn't necessarily like look like everyone else in there. And so they moved me pretty quickly in there, which I was super grateful for. It was still weird. Even in that dorm, there was weird stuff going on. And
So you didn't have to do anything to make money
no,
or to be safe?
no, I did let the girls
Eat you out.
No, I did not let them eat me out. But every time I was taking a shower, every time I took a shower was when like there was a certain crew of them that was like, I need my hot water for my coffee because it's all like instant. And I remember like the first couple times being like, what is happening? And like asking other girls and they're like, yeah, no, like they're gay. And you're like this pretty blonde chick. And they just literally want to look at you.
So meaning they want
So then
hot water for coffee so they can sit and sip while watching you shower?
Basically.
Oh, okay.
Because you can only get hot water from the showers.
Oh.
Like not from the sink in your cell.
Okay.
So you have to go get. So they would purposely come get hot water while I was showering.
Yeah.
And then like they called me Barbie when I was in there too.
I believe it.
Yeah, like it just and like I kind of just like the first few days week really I observed a lot. Like and was like because I had never been in that environment and I was like okay like I have to kind of figure out like the ecosystem and like who's who here.
The ecosystem.
No, but there is, dude.
I know.
I know you know. Like it's like
Yeah.
no, I didn't do anything to make money, but like there was the girl who threaded things to get her like threaded everyone's eyebrows to like then get certain stuff in return. There was a girl who
You
made
weren't
everyone
there long enough.
No, there was
Yeah.
a girl who made trash cans for people's cells out of newspapers to like make them cute. Like I'm
Aw.
like there was one girl who
That would be Jenny.
we love you, Jenny. Love and light.
I can make these shirts. I can.
She'd be running aerobics classes in there. which I tried to do and I got in trouble for. I
Yeah.
got in trouble
Really?
for
Oh, you can't.
exercising.
You can't. It
Mm-mm.
has to be at a certain time.
And outside.
It's the same with the guys.
Yeah, I remember we would walk in circles around the like day room, and if there was too many of us doing it at once, it would over the
It would be
microphone.
considered
Yeah, we had to
a
stop.
workout
God.
class.
It-
You guys
yeah,
were all
like,
walking
That's,
together.
you know what's funny? They at Yellowstone, the rehab I went to, they would do the same thing. At the house, we
At
had
the
to be there
rehab.
all day. We would walk in and out of the house like this, and I'm like, no one do it with me. And then the girls started doing it, and they're like, you guys can't exercise here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah,
They're like, you're here for your sobriety, not to get cute. That's
oh
funny.
man,
But-
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Was there a piece of advice that your sponsor gave to you before going into jail that like helped you get through that?
Yeah. She told, no, it's crazy because it's like the most cliche thing. She said to try to get my hands on the book and see if there was anyone I could pass the message along to.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
what I figured.
Yeah.
Same thing that
Um,
happened to Luke.
What's really cool is there's 2 women that I was in jail with that I've gone to meetings with over the years. One of them unfortunately has passed away, and she passed away like within that first year. The other one I didn't see again until I was 5 years sober, and we ran into each other, and she was being sponsored by my sponsor's best friend,
Whoa.
and we kept like eyeing each other and being like, hey, like, and we introduced each other, and she's like, you look so familiar. I'm like, I know you too. And then she's like, did you ever go to Todd Road, which is like the name of the Ventura County Jail? And I was like, oh my God, I knew it was you. And I go, you were the girl who worked in the laundry room and used to bring us all the extra underwear. And we started dying laughing, and that was her.
Wow.
And she's still sober today. So she would have like 6.5, almost 7 years now.
Wow.
And she's dope as fuck. When I was running a women's house, I used to like suggest her as a sponsor to my clients. Like, yeah, she's dope.
Oh, so she wasn't sober in jail with you?
No,
Okay.
no. And I remember when I ran into her, she goes, have you been sober this whole time? Because by the time I left, it was like, oh no, because like there were drugs in there.
Yeah, of
even the
course.
good
They're like,
behavior.
don't give Jenna meth. She's sober.
Yeah, well, but they would, and I was like, I just was like, oh no, I'm good, right?
Mhm.
Because you don't want to be too offensive in there, and then they think you're gonna snitch. So I just would be like, I'm good, and they would ask me like, why not? And I remember telling them like, look, the reality is that's what like that stuff is what eventually landed me here, and I don't ever want to come back here. So like, I can't do it, you know. And then I would make fun of them a little bit of like, I don't know how you can do meth and then be on 23-hour lockdown in a cell.
Oh my God.
That sounds horrible.
Unless I was with another hot guy in the cell.
Then you could go
for
fuck.
sure.
Yeah, we could fuck for 20 hours.
But dude, that sounded awful to me. When I do drugs, I want to like be like roaming and free and like crafty and
Paranoid, looking
witchcraft
over your
and-
shoulder.
Yeah, not
Oh,
in jail.
God.
No, that sounds awful.
Mm-mm.
And witchcrafty?
Always.
Oh my God, everyone, I think gay guys are different then.
Oh, there's different levels.
There's
of
different
meth
levels, yeah.
use. Yeah. There's different levels. Sometimes I'm making jewelry and selling it on Etsy.
See, that was my
Sometimes.
first year when I was in high school, coloring and drawing and doing
Yeah.
all these things. After I found men and online AOL Messenger, that was all boring
For me,
to me.
it was plentyoffish.com.
Or the chat rooms. Like the freaking video you just sent me on TikTok.
Oh my God.
With all the fucking pedophiles. We were
Oh
all
my
on
God.
those chat
That-
rooms.
That was
Dude.
me.
The
Literally.
chat rooms.
The chat rooms were terrifying. You would literally
That
just
is
keep going.
terrifying.
Chat roulette. You just keep going to the next room. It's just like.
And you have no idea, dude.
I
Oh my
loved
God,
it.
that's so
That was
wild.
my favorite. Dude, it was I went on dadseekingson.com when I was like 14 on meth. And this 60-year-old guy came to pick me up at my house. And I said I was 18.
But you wanted to hook up with him.
I did.
Yeah.
And I said I was 18. And he goes,
I
He's like,
said.
have you ever had fingers in your butt? And I was like, no. And he goes, you do now. I remember. But I could have been probably stolen. But
See, you know
I
what's
love it.
crazy? And this is a little different than gay dudes. Is like for me, I never allowed fingers in my butt until I was sober.
and that's for straight dudes, it's while they were high.
straight.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my
Yeah, the
god.
straight.
We had some guy tell us he's bicurious. Do you have something to tell us?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I've like genuinely explored like could I like and I just don't swing that way
Oh, that's
at
awesome.
Okay, so you end up getting out of jail.
Breezy always brings us back.
It's good. You need her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Breezy.
No.
Okay.
Breezy, you went to jail?
No.
Just kidding.
I have been to jail. But not for long. Okay, so you end up getting out of jail, and then
Okay,
that
so
was it.
when I got out of
celebrated your 90 days.
I did
Okay.
in jail. So actually, I called my dad because I couldn't remember my sponsor's number by heart. Right. So I called my dad, and my sweet little dad picked me up. And like, you know how they like release you at like 4 a.m. too?
Yeah.
So he comes and picks me up. By the time he gets there, it's like 5:30 a.m. We're up in Ventura. And like where I live back, like the meeting hall was like an hour from there. And my dad's like, "Are you hungry? Do you want to eat?" Like, because I barely ate in there too. I was like disgusted by it.
So gross.
It's disgusting.
Ugh.
And I was like, I want to go to the 7 a.m. meeting. And my dad was like, "What?" And I was like, "No, I want to go to the meeting." And I did. So like that one's real. RJ will talk about that too. Like me showing up to a meeting literally like I just rolled out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, "Dad, I have to go to a meeting." Like
Yeah.
I've been in jail. Meth was put in front of me. Other things were put in front of me. I said no. I turned it down. But like that was uncomfortable, and I need to go to a meeting.
Yeah.
And so that was the first thing I did was go to a meeting. He picked me up after.
Was your sponsor at that meeting?
Not that morning. Not that morning. I saw her that night. But I called her in the morning. I didn't care that it was 6:30 a.m. about that sponsor phone call.
Okay.
I'm out, bitch.
Yeah, a little different.
Jenna now doesn't answer any phone calls at 6:30.
Sorry. And so what happened next? Then my dad picked me back up. I went and like hung out at his house because again I had nowhere to live. And my dad's like, "You can stay here for a few days." And like my dad at the time lived in like a studio. It was like a bachelor pad, like studio. So it wasn't like something where I could stay with him. It also wouldn't have been good for like where I was at in my like recovery and the healing of our relationship, you know? But I had this friend from high school and middle school, and his mom, so at the time I was 27. So that means at that time she was 27 years sober because she got sober when she was pregnant with her son, who I later became friends with. And she and I had connected, like she had been helpful to me prior to that, just as like a woman in recovery, and especially not having like a strong woman around in my life, right? And I think my dad must have told her that I was out of jail because he was good friends with her husband from Al-Anon. He's going to hate, but I'm going to say this. My dad refers to his little group of friends in Al-Anon, the men, as his Ala Bros. Sorry, Dad. It's the cringiest thing ever. I know, but it's so cute. And they've all known each other for like a long time.
Damn.
I can see your dad in it too.
Yeah, like I've met your dad.
Yeah.
Your dad and my dad would be friends, 100%.
My dad's got his own 12-step programs, but
right?
not
So,
Al-Anon.
I know my dad probably told like his buddies, and then he probably told his wife, you know. So she called me. It was a couple days after I got out, and she's like, "How are you? How are things going?" And I'm like, "I mean, I'm here."
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about it, and she's like, "So what are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I'm still in the process of figuring that out." And she's like, "Okay, well, you can come stay in our guest room for the next 30 days.
That's a long time.
But you have to, I know, but you have to go to at least one meeting every day, and you need to find a job like ASAP." And I was like, "Wait, for real?" You know? And she's like, "Yes, but like, this is what I need you to do." And I was like, "Okay." So I went and stayed at their house, and I mean, it was like such a blessing. And I ended up being there a little longer than 30 days too, because like, I mean, you know how it goes. It's not the easiest to like get a job like within 30 days and have money to pay rent.
Yeah.
I mean, and I was so humbled at this point too, you guys. Like, I'll tell you that the first paying job I had in sobriety, it was that October of 2014, was we were driving to a meeting one morning and I'm with my sponsor and she goes, look, that pumpkin patch needs help. And I said, pull in there. And I literally got a job for minimum wage to like work at a pumpkin patch.
Fuck yeah.
Because I was like, well, that will, they said they'd hire me.
Yeah.
Why not?
And they don't do background checks.
They don't.
And you can't work at the Y anymore.
No, I can't because the live
This
scan
meth head
situation.
from fucking Chowchilla prison.
I wish it was something more intense.
I
Like
know.
I want to be like harder than like Ventura County Jail, you know? But yeah, that was like my first paying job. And then
That's cute.
And then like, you know, my sponsor had a friend that she had worked with who their babysitter had moved and she needed a babysitter. And so then, and it was like a regular 3 times a week thing. So I also started babysitting while working at the pumpkin patch. And I just like slowly, I was like, I know this is not forever. I know this isn't going to even pay bills forever, but it's like, it's a start to something and it's action to something. And I walked a lot of places too in that year, which like prior to going to jail, prior to going to jail, like my sponsor, I remember like trying to get to court and stuff and coming up with excuses of getting to meetings. And she told me I could take the bus. And I was like, excuse me? I was rude about it. And she hung up on me and said, call me when you're willing, you know? And so like, you know, after being like incredibly humbled, like I was like, I will walk. I will do anything.
That's a good one. I'm going to call my Christian sponsee and say, call me when you're willing. Take the fucking bus. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. And so yeah, like that was like what I did. And you know, next thing I know, I like got a job at this tanning salon locally and I had no experience working in a tanning salon, but I had experience managing like businesses. And so I walked in there. And then there was a part of the interview where he asked about a background check. And I was like stunned in my place. And I sat there. Yeah, I sat there and I was like, I just like took a breath and I was like, look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. And if you can't hire me, I understand. I said, I'm newly sober. I think at this point, I'm like 6 months sober. Right. And I said, I'm newly sober and I had a few charges from before I got sober. And so, yes, I can do a background check, but those will pop up. And he was like, okay. And then he asked me a bunch of questions about getting sober and stuff. And I answered them to the best of my ability. I left that, called my sponsor, told her, and she was like, well, how do you feel about being honest about it? And I said, it was the only thing I could do. Yeah. And the next day he called me and said, I've never done this. And he goes, I like you. You know what you're doing with business. And I like your character and the fact that you were so willing to be honest. Like, do you want to start tomorrow? And I was like, okay.
Wow.
You know, and like, so I did that for the next 6 months. And then right around the time I got a year, I applied for a job as a tech at a treatment center. And I had not gotten my license yet either, which like you have to drive. And so in that interview, the person asked me if I had a driver's license, and I was honest, and I said, I do not. And I said, but I can have one in the next 48 hours. And
okay, make it happen.
And I explained, I said, listen, my 1 year was a few days ago. And, you know, I've been saving up money and building my life back together. And I didn't want to go and get my license until it was like time to make that next step. And he was like, okay, thank you. That man walked me out of that interview because there was a gate too. And guess who was like waiting to pick me up?
Your dad.
My dad.
Yeah.
In the driveway in this like mansion in Malibu. That man called me the next day and said, I'm going to hire you and I want to tell you why. He goes, I don't walk everybody out. I wanted to see if you actually, I wanted to see your integrity because you just told me you didn't have a driver's license.
Oh my
If
gosh,
you drove
full
up,
body chills.
oh my God.
Yeah, and he said I wanted to see your integrity, and because of it, he said, can you go take care of your license? I said, yeah, and he goes, okay, then you'll start next week.
Wow.
I know, which is pretty cool. And like
We're
now,
crying.
and like now I've been working in the treatment industry for, 10 and a half years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Because like some guy took a chance on me because I was honest,
because
you know?
you were fucking
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people have to go through that their first year. Like,
Mhm.
should I be honest? Should I not be honest? You know?
Yeah.
To me, I feel like it's always good too because it's going to
Sorry.
come out.
Yeah.
With
Well,
your,
and you always get rewarded when you
yeah.
are honest, and then all of a
Or
sudden
you get
it's
kicked
like
out.
it's like God shots, but it's always
it's
something
not-
that's
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, that's the plan.
Yeah.
It is because, and like I was just so in that place of like, okay, like
Whatever it is.
I'm so sick of living these double lives and like telling
Yeah.
this story here and this story here and being this person here and this person here, that like me surrendering and like being so willing to like follow suggestion came from a place of like just wanting to live in peace,
Yeah.
you know? And the most peaceful thing for me was to not have to like wonder which story did I tell you today?
Yeah.
Which person do I have to be with you? You know, like I didn't have to play any role. I just had to show up
Yeah.
and like be in action. And that was it.
Mhm.
That's all it
You
is.
know?
It's simple.
It is.
Yeah.
It is simple.
Yeah.
And the more time I've gotten, the more it has like screamed at me of how simple this is.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like even at like 5 years sober when I like really thought I was hot shit, because I did. Like, you know, like I really did. And like I'm like, oh, I have all these sponsees. I have 5 years. I have this great career. Like I had a husband at the time that I had I had both kids at that point, right? Like I thought like I arrived.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you that in that, there's a lot of ego.
Mhm.
And there was also a lot of pain that like would resurface. Where like, you know, things like going through a divorce, which also brought a lot of like financial fear at like then 6.5 years sober, and then having to build myself back up, felt like being a newcomer again, just all the emotions and everything. But there was something different. It was more humble through that, and like walking through that and allowing like to be truly simplistic in every action and everything I do. Like that is the most peace I have, is that like things are really simple, you know, like I don't overcomplicate things today. And as soon as I feel myself starting to, it's like this warning to myself of like, hold on, are you trying to control?
Yeah.
Because if I'm trying to control, I'm trying to play God, and I'm not. Like that has been shown to me over and over and over again that I'm not.
Did you hear that, everybody that's trying to control?
Control. You know, like I can't manipulate the outcome of any situation. Mine, yours, hers, his,
Yeah.
even my children's.
Yeah.
Like all I can do is like show up with the best that I have. That's it.
I thought that was cute and funny. Even my children's.
I can't. I want to.
You're like,
I want to
Mom,
save
you're like,
them.
it's none of my business. Sorry.
No,
I know what you meant.
I know.
what you meant.
But like,
But I
parent-
pictured
dude,
that.
I know, and I listen. And if you knew my children, they would probably have the best comebacks
Yeah.
to that
Oh my
too.
God, I love
you
it.
know,
Period.
Yeah. yeah.
That reminds me of from my Double Winners meeting. We were reading this book a few months ago, and my favorite part of the entire book, it said, I only say something once because if I keep saying it, that means I'm trying to control the outcome. And I'm like, damn, the amount of times that I used to literally like, come on, I'm going to remind you again. I'm going to remind you again. When I heard that, I was like, wow. Or like with sponsees, with whatever, like how many times do you need to keep telling someone? It's like, I'm trying to control you. I'm just going to let go. It's not my fucking job. Such a cool.
That is good.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
That for sure like rings true. Like there's people that I know sometimes I'll stop them while they're explaining something, and especially someone who's newer on, and I'll ask them, hey, you don't need to justify this to me. Like, but is this for me or is this for yourself? That like telling over and over and over again, right? And I can only say that because I did that.
Yeah.
I lived it. I was that, you know? But yeah, the simplicity is like where everything is at.
Just like the phone call I got earlier from your sponsee. I'm like, bitch, I don't care.
Yeah.
But
she's newer in it, so
No,
she's
I know.
still so raw. But like
Yeah.
to us, we're over here like, hey, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
just
So then
trust God.
and then what I had to do was think, okay, I know I did this.
Right.
And that's what makes me always be, always working on myself. I'm like, she needs me to say, it's okay.
I know.
It's okay. We talked about it. Move on. I
Mhm.
love you. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me being like, oh my God, because I get so uncomfortable when people are like nice and hug me and apologize. I'm like, oh my God, stop. You're so
You're
annoying.
like, I wasn't even thinking about
No,
you.
I know.
I'm thinking about myself,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Like, I may
Exactly.
be healed, but I'm still self-consumed.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm still thinking about how I have to stay after work after a 12-hour day to do a podcast.
I know.
Have to.
That's exactly
Get-
what I was thinking about.
Get to.
And then, yeah, I get to.
No, because
But
literally
I
we've
did.
been wanting you on the podcast for so
No,
long.
yeah.
It's
But
exciting.
I said, I love you. And
Mhm.
I just gave up
Yeah.
instead of being funny.
Mhm.
I did. I
Which
was
is your
like, I
go-to.
love you. Yeah,
Yeah.
my go-to is going to be funny. But that is correct. When you said that, I literally just did that earlier.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, meeting people where they're at, like, I know for me, like, it helps, like, keep me in the reminder of, like, why I have to continue to do the work, especially when,
Mhm.
like, it says that, like, that the one thing is, like, that's asked of us is that we'll give it away. And, like, if I'm showing up a certain way with another human, like, how helpful am I to them?
Mhm.
Like, it's always asking myself, is this helpful or is this harmful?
Mhm.
And yeah, I have to remind myself like what it was like to be in their seat. And sometimes all it takes is a simple conversation
Yeah.
because it can take you back real quickly of like, oh my God, remember feeling that way,
Mhm.
that heavy, that
Yeah.
fearful, that insecure.
And someone telling me, Jimmy, it's fine. We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so cool about what has happened with camp is that we are so like a mixed ball of like people with a lot of time and
Yeah.
people with no time.
Oh yeah.
And so I know for myself, when I got sober, I didn't know anyone who had time. I was literally just with a whole bunch of other fucked up people who were all co-signing my bullshit. And so now we get to like show them like radical love and acceptance,
Mhm.
like what you just did with her.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
which is so cool.
Oh yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Where are we at?
9 minutes, 30 seconds.
Just so everybody knows, our friend Jenny is our producer today.
She is.
And I
She's doing
can't wait for her to
such
be
a
on the
good job.
podcast, but
9 months. 9 months from now.
9 months from now, she can.
But she's like really hot.
So hot.
She's
You
super
can't-
hot.
You can't see her, but we can, and that's why we're so happy.
She's super hot. And she can't say anything right now because she's in secrecy. She can't put. Oh.
But I can.
Yeah.
But everyone-
Oh, we'll post her. Oh God, I love this fucking podcast.
Oh,
So
man.
okay, so now that I know that we have time,
And we're getting rid of episode 10. Sorry. Just kidding.
Oh my God, I'm cutting that out.
No one knows what episode 10 is. I made that up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who episode 10 is, but you guys know what I was trying to say.
Well,
Yeah.
what if it is?
And I'm here.
Oh my
for
God,
it.
if it is, that would be funny.
It's the for me.
I've
Got
never
him.
seen him try to be so hard.
I
Yeah,
know.
do that again. I like.
Oh my God. It takes a lot for me to get there.
Okay.
But it has to really.
Mm,
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
And we ride so
can.
hard for this bitch that
I
it
know.
comes out.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Go back to Zen.
Sinna.
Go back to
okay,
Jimmy,
so
gay hairstylist.
yeah. Oh my God, he literally.
Dude, I'm an actor all day. It's tiring.
I know.
Oh, I understand.
Did you have any sponsored direction in that first year where you just were like, I know better and I'm going to go blow up my life?
Oh yeah, like hooking up with other newcomers over and over and over again.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
100%.
And what she said, I don't suggest this, Jenna. What did she say?
So actually, like I will say, and I'm grateful for this, that she was like, I can't tell you not to.
Yeah.
She goes, but you're bringing me the same situation again, just with a different name and a different face,
Okay.
and confused about why it's not a different outcome. Right. So like she would be like, maybe we take a look at that and choose to make different choices, you know?
Yeah.
And so she just would continue of like, I'm just here to make suggestions to you.
Okay. Did everyone hear that?
Mhm.
Everyone in our listening subscribers.
Fucking
This bitch wanted to be in here.
look, like I also
No, I love that.
I'm genuinely glad
love
though,
that.
because what it did is like we are stubborn people.
Yes.
We have to learn
No
the hard
matter
way
how
every
kind
time.
and well intentioned we are like, thanks, I hear you, but I'm still gonna like
Yep.
you tell me I have to take a right to get to my destination. Well, I'm still gonna go left and take a U-turn and down the hill and up the hill and
Yep.
blah blah blah, and then wonder why it took me so long to get there.
Yeah.
Like that is how we operate.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
And it's not until we've like done that so many times that we're like, oh, I'm so tired of like taking this longer way. Like maybe I just like listened to this person who gave a suggestion because they've turned right and they got there quicker, you know? And so, you know, what it did is it allowed me like a real experience to walk through something and also then be able to sit in a position to have that same conversation with other women.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, like, I don't believe that I'm the sex police. I think that like saying, for me, this is my opinion on sponsorship, like me saying, giving absolutes as like if you do that, I'll drop you.
Or
that,
you're going to get loaded or you're going to die.
To me, that is me
Yeah.
once again thinking that I'm God, and I'm
Controlling
not, dude.
things,
I'm
yeah.
not. I don't know what the outcome is. I might have a good idea of what the outcome could be if you
Right.
make that choice.
Yeah.
And I'm fine to have that conversation. But like I am not God.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not yours, you know? And like I'm just here to talk about it with you and share like what I've experienced.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
so I'm really grateful. I mean, listen, and she was always very honest with me. And I'm grateful for that too. And
What'd she say? You can holler it up in here if you really want to.
yeah, I mean, dude, yeah, she would just talk to me about you could continue to hook up with dudes who mean nothing to you to fill some hole inside of yourself. Okay, that sounded bad. As soon as it came out,
Many holes.
what I meant was like a spiritual hole in my chest
Yeah.
or something like that. Like, you
And
know,
in your
but she could
mouth
say
and
you
in
can
your
continue to
butthole.
seek.
Ass play came after, remember?
Oh, I know. We've talked about it.
Oh, she knows. And like way after. That's okay. We can't go there right now. We don't have enough time. But where was I? Okay, what she said to me was like, you can.
Jenna's single too. Okay, keep going. What she said to you was.
What she said to me was like, you can continue to seek validation outside yourself. Sure, it's not alcohol. Sure, it's not drugs. But like, what is it now? Like, you did the work. You saw that when it was younger, it was like being the best at this, doing this perfectly. Cool. So now what? Like the hottest dude wants to sleep with you? Cool. What is that? Does that like elevate you in some way on a status, or does it actually make you feel better? It actually does neither of those. It makes me feel better for a split second because of like instant gratification of like a natural high, because like there's science about that. It's called an orgasm. But like,
Dopamine.
you know, like, but that leaves,
Yeah.
you know, and then you're left with yourself again of like, am I only wanted because of this? And that could take me back to the same thing of like, does this person only hang out with me because I always have a bag? You know what I mean? Like it's like that thing of like, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
Right. And like, over time I learned, and like through doing a really thorough like fourth step as well, like what my ideal was around those type of things. And it's, you know, what that is that someone who wants me as who I am as a whole, which sure, is there a component of that? Absolutely. But like there's also like this spiritual side of me, the side of me that like sparks my thinking and my brain and my creativity, and there's like the loving side of me, and I want someone who wants all of that, you know, the weird, the goofy, even the challenging. Like that's what I want. I don't want someone who only wants to sleep with me, you know. But for a long time I had a narrative that was what made me something. Where that came from is for a different type of podcast on trauma. But like, you know, and like, so yeah, like I also do believe in that, like, if you are comfortable enough with yourself to go have some fun and it be just a physical interaction, like by all means, we're adults.
It could also
Go
be
do
very
that.
empowering. Yeah.
Right. And I think that we have different things that serve us at different times. In the first year of my sobriety, that's not what it was serving for me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I was lonely. I was still fearful. I was still insecure, and I was looking for instant gratification. That's it. You know? Yeah. And when I learned it didn't bring me that, like that started to slow down. And I stopped seeking outside attention, and I was more
Yeah.
seeking like the things from within of like feeling good about like getting that job because I was honest and like in like actions of integrity. Like I sought that feeling more than these other feelings of validation,
But you had to have
I
that
love
experience
that.
yourself.
I did.
I used to tell my guys, if you want to be a porn star, then go be a porn star.
Yeah.
But now I say that, what your sponsors say.
Yeah.
Because that's how I learned.
Yeah.
If you want to go be a slut, then go be a porn star. They're sober porn stars.
They are.
And hey, if that's what you do to make your money, you make your money, girl, But like if it affects you emotionally and then you can't sleep at night, like reconsider, reevaluate, and don't complain
but you don't
about
know
it.
until you don't know.
You don't.
Until you
don't.
know. That's what I meant to say. You don't
don't.
know until you know. What am I saying? I don't know.
It made sense.
I don't know if it did or not.
We got you.
Yeah. Okay, so to wrap up this incredible podcast, it was worth every second of the wait. We've literally been trying to get you on since December.
Oh.
And this lying ass hoe said that we never asked her.
No, I know. That's absolutely a
That's
lie.
what's crazy about my head is that happens sometimes.
Okay, that's valid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Like I legit was just like. Also, the three of us are so busy. Like all three of us travel.
That's true.
For work, different things, and I'm like, maybe they did ask me, and then I was traveling, or they were traveling, and then I said no, and then I forgot. I don't know. But I'm just happy to be here.
Me too. Okay, so what is one piece of advice that you heard in your first year that you can give back to our listeners, which are hopefully people in their first year?
The one that always sticks out to me is that finding a way to learn that it's none of my business what other people think of me. And like stop operating, because I operated from a place of being so concerned what you thought of me, and I had to be more focused and like really intentional about what I thought of myself. Yeah.
I don't think anyone said that yet.
That's a fucking great answer.
Your lips look like pumpkin spice.
I
love that one.
I love you. Thank you so much
Thanks
for
so
being
much,
here.
Jenna.
Thank you for making time for us, especially at this hour.
Of course.
And I can't wait to party with you this weekend.
I know.
We're going to have a sleepover.
And then we're going to go surfing.
Yeah, we're going to have a sleepover.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you found this episode helpful or you think that someone else would benefit from it, please send it along. And as always, you can find us on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. I'm Breezy.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are
Sober
Disclosure.
This episode is brought to you by Light Salon, Orange County's premier destination for expert hair color. At Light Salon, we specialize in creating stunning custom color transformations that highlight your natural beauty. Owned and operated by passionate, sober stylists, we bring authenticity, creativity, and precision to every client experience. Light Salon.